Hello. Welcome to episode number 5. I'm so happy, particularly today, to be with you. I have no idea what's going to happen, and that really, really is fun. A Course in Miracles says a healed mind doesn't plan, and I'm totally moved to step into this time together to see what happens. There are 2 sentences, one from A Course in Miracles and one from Rupert Spira, that I would like to explore, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. So I'm open, and I hope you join me in being open to what happens next. So the Rupert Spira quote that I want to mention goes this way. It is not necessary to get rid of thoughts, images, and ideas. Just cease deriving your sense of identity from them. It's really huge. It's holographic. It's like the Course. One sentence truly understood can take you everywhere to total peace, a lack of suffering, the oneness, the understanding with a capital U. So it's the sense of our identity that's the problem. The belief in separation, as the Course would say it, is the only problem we have. And that matches up with this sentence. Only for me, it adds a little bit different perspective where it says it's not necessary to get rid of thoughts, images, and ideas. The beginning of the Course, and as I've said in every episode, A Course in Miracles is a layering. It starts with who we think we are, the separate self, and it speaks to us. So it speaks to us of mind training, as though the small mind had anything to do with the full understanding. And yet, when we start to get hold of our attack thoughts, when we start to understand that there's nowhere to go by ourselves, the Course says we have to get there with our brother, meaning sister, father, mother, past, future, all beings in all space and time. It kind of opens up that egoic separate self. So it's very, very useful. But many of the people listening to this video or listening on radio are very experienced Course in Miracles students or direct path folks who are looking for moments that bring them a glimpse of who and what we truly are. So we don't necessarily need those early stages, but those early stages, I can't even imagine who I would be without the Course helping me to see that I can think and behave differently in this world. But this sentence, not necessary to get rid or fix any images, any thoughts. So actually it speaks in a radical way that forgiveness isn't necessary. It's not that we hold on to our perceptions, and that's what makes forgiveness necessary. We think somebody did something to us or someone else. And the Course explains that it's not a separate self that's forgiving anyone. The Course speaks of changing our perception of what happened. But let's go, if we can, because I know this has become a concept many people are attached to, And it has given a lot of, what shall we say, peace. Um, it has given a more balanced place to live from when we are showing through the forgiveness steps that we're willing to let it go. That willingness, which the Course says is all that's necessary, that's the important part. It's not actually the idea or the perception or the image that you end up. And yes, it is a shift in perception, and it's great for the beginning. But we can go to another place. What is that other place? Well, we'll go there in a few minutes, but I want to refer next to the sentence that I mentioned. It would be workbook lesson 135. Without defenses, you become a light which heaven gradually acknowledges to be its own. Wow, what does that mean? So in my view today, a defense would be the mind training. A defense would be the fixing. A defense would be trying to be right. A defense would even be trying to feel better. There's another sentence. I wonder if I can find it here. Maybe not. But it was that who we think we are is made up of thoughts and feelings, but that's not who we are. So we don't need to change our thoughts and feelings if we get closer to who are we. And there again, quantum physics comes up. Because if we're energy, that would be like the whirlpool in the water that looks like it's its own identity, but it's made up of the water. And so if there were consciousness in the whirlpool, it would think, look at me, I'm this size, and the people are looking at me, or I have this force, or I have this color. And that's, I know, silliness, but that's what we're doing. So if we know that we are made up of the water, and the oneness goes beyond my brother and I are one. It goes to my brother and I are just energy. So there's no brother and there's no I, but we get to be everything. Isn't that good news? Isn't that wonderful? I love that. I just felt like taking my glasses off because I was so excited to remember who we are. But we have a sense that we're a person. So let's stick with that a minute. That's not wrong or bad. We're meant to be sentient beings. That's why we have feelings and thoughts. But what is this sense of beingness? We know even when we're feeling badly, and even when we're feeling exuberantly, we know we're alive. That aliveness is a key. It's a key to the oneness. It's a key to who we really are. One being, one energy, one power. That's the good news. A separate self suffers. And so if you hear and sense someone else believing they're separate, you might not know the form of their suffering, but you know they're suffering. And even if they're at the high, if I just got this achievement and I just made this thing happen, you know they'll be on another trajectory down soon, and they'll have to have another achievement in the world of doing. But there's something I want to add today. It's really big. No matter what you think and feel about your separate self, so it's not good enough, or you have imposter syndrome, or somebody else is prettier, better, younger, smarter, whatever. We actually love ourselves. We don't love the form. We don't love the thoughts and the feelings and the localization. What does that mean? It means the form that all energy, the universal intelligence, gets pushed down like a prism into a prism. It was clear, but when it goes through, it's a color. We love our being. That's why when we love our being, we get defensive. We want to be right. We want to be whole. We have that willingness. There's something, maybe it's the love of life that most people have. Even when they're hurting, they want to stop hurting, but most people want to live. I also think the reflexiveness of taking your hand away from fire. Yes, it's physical, but it's also a protection, a love, the life that's in us that I believe might be behind that defense of don't hurt me, because there's a happiness and an equanimity that just comes with life. That babies, when they have the right conditions of being fed and dry, always want to come back to. And they're not looking to achieve or be more. They're just looking to preserve that sense of joy in living. So something takes them out of that and they're wanting to return. I think it's that wanting, and we get confused with wanting. We think the wanting is I want a car, or I want a house, or I want to fix this or that. But it's a wanting, I believe, to return to the equanimity of oneness. So let's go there in a slight meditation now, slight meaning shorter, maybe than usual. So we're told by science that we're made of water, mostly water. Some scientists say 60%, and if it's measured in molecules, it's 99%. So let's join the water right now. If you'd like to close your eyes and join me in the water, flowing and flowing through our bodies, circulating, circulating, circulating. And know that we can even put a light on this flowing. Let's take a deep breath and include the light and the flowing in our interior vision, in our interior kinesthesia. Let's feel the water. Let's imagine we know that the water is there and we're aware of it. And take note that if we're made of water and we don't know it, that we may be mistaken about our beliefs. The small mind cannot know who and what we really are. It can be brought along to some degree, but it is not where enlightenment is experienced. It's not in your feelings, it's not in your thoughts. Those are representative of the body that is a localization of consciousness. And we're all that. We're all coming from the same place and will return to the same place. And that's what the Course means when it says there is no death and we won't be born. We won't be born and we haven't died. We haven't been born and we will not die. There is no past and there is no future. And that's where the Course in Miracles and the direct path of non-duality, and that's where quantum physics all agree with many mystics. I'm not a Buddhist scholar, but my understanding is that the oneness is in everything because there are no things. There's only the oneness. So traveling back through our body, our bodies, if we're all together, let's circle around our hearts. And then let's circle around our arms and maybe extend our arms into the oneness of openness. And let's wiggle our fingertips. And let's join the air in the room and feel like the air in the room is holding us. Thank you, air, for holding us. And just like the space between your inhalation and your exhalation that you hadn't noticed before, that's the space that you can return to at will. And if you'd like to put your arms down, you might. And let's push out from the air in the room, out into the air outside your room. And let's receive the welcoming of the weather, whatever it is at your time of day, whether it's raining, whether it's clear, whether it's sunny. Know that that energy, that air welcomes you because you are what that is. Remember, we aren't separate beings. We are one energy. The whirlpool is part of the water. And just like the sky is always there, even when it's covered with clouds, if we were mistaken and believed ourselves to be the clouds, it would only be a mistake. There would be no punishment or no sin for mistaking ourselves to be thoughts and feelings and a separate self. Today, this moment, we can know we are the sky. We are everything. We are love, not the love of the high that you found in your beloved that you married or that you want to partner with, or your friend that you admire. Most of those, as the Course says, are special love. And they come and they go. And we all know about that. We all know about how a partner or a friend or ourselves as the other can be very disappointing. But if you've been with me on prior videotapes or radio shows, or if you've been in your own meditation practice, or if you've been with Rupert Spira or Francis Lucille or any of the great A Course in Miracles teachers, You've had that experience of oneness. Now, let's not take that to mean a separate state. Let's take that on today, right now, as the truth of our being. And all it takes is the recollection of the calmness and equanimity of this space that is all the wellness that you ever looked for. People use the word healing. I don't use it because it reminds separate beings that there's something wrong with them. And there is no you to have anything wrong with. You and I are everything. That's so the good news. In the beginning, we want to say or deny that we're nothing because we want to be everything. And that is true. That's the good news. The Course and the non-dual remind us over and over that enlightenment is but a recognition of this space that is beyond all thinking and feeling, the peace that passes all understanding. What if we are everything? What if we're like the grass that came from the seed in the dark that pushes through cement? What if it's true? If it's true, is there anything to fix in you? Is there anything to heal in you? All we need to do is claim this. The mind, the small mind, will say that's egocentric, that's selfish, that's ego. No, egos want to be special and different and separate. This wholeness of being part of the whole is so holy, so complete, and so without defense. There's nothing to be right about, but we can return to the world at any time and bring this space with us. This is our home, and we actually never left it. We only imagined that we did. So we leave, apparently, our home every night when we go to sleep, but we're always aware of what's happening. We're aware when we wake up that we were sleeping and that we're now awake dreaming. The Course tells us not to take things so seriously and it tells us we forgot to laugh. What if we joined this world and you can open your eyes whenever you feel like it? Open your eyes with a softness of receiving, of taking away our experience today, taking away the knowing of your fullness, of your power, of the power that is life, not your special personal power. You get to receive it all. No matter you don't remember my words, notice your feelings, notice your thoughts. It's possible that they might feel great. they might feel great in the sense of no suffering. If you followed me, and even if you didn't, that peace is always there when we leave the separate self. And we've talked a bit about how do you come back. Sorry about that. We thought the alarm was quieter. How do you come back to this world and bring your home with you? You do that however you can best do it. My idea today is to see it as like an amusement park with rides and thrills and fun and treats. And some parts of the scary rides were not fun while you were scared, but then it ended in fun because you knew it was a dream, a ride, a playground. And so you could do what little kids do when they experience wee, when they're swinging and they're in love, wee. And so we might take it less seriously. And so I leave you with that blessing of taking the world as a holding ground for our wholeness, where we can play in the amusement park and experience the ups, the downs, and all of it's the dream that we like what we had last night. Thank you for joining me today. And if you would be willing to leave a comment on YouTube and subscribe, that would be so helpful. Thank you so much. Bye.